Hi everybody, my name is Kathy Coyle, and after 26 years as a Security Forces and Combat Arms Specialist, I retired in 2006 at the rank of Master Sergeant. Currently, I'm an Instructional Systems Specialist assigned to the 343rd Training Squadron, Security Forces Academy, where I am the course manager for the Advanced Security Forces Officer Training Course, Security Forces Basic Officer Level 1 course, and the Integrated Defense, Command and Control, and Communications courses, where I oversee the curriculum and tests and ensure that all of our training material is educationally sound for our students. I have to admit to you, I've had many aha moments up to this point on my SOS journey, but most recently, my aha moment came when I read Robert Schultz's article, Countering Extremist Groups in Cyberspace, where Mr. Schultz used the term false flag operations. I've never heard of this term before, but I know through my reading that is a naval term that's used to describe when a Navy ship would hide its flags in order to get close to the enemy in order to take over his ship. In modern day cyber warfare, Mr. Schultz explains that FFOs used as a disguise to approach the enemy in cyberspace, the interaction between the deceiver and the deceived is reversed. The deception target must voluntarily visit the FFO website in order for the deception to work. In the work against ISIS, creating deceptive websites in order to stop the spread of ISIS ideologies was a fascinating read. While I understand the concept of cyber operations, I never thought before that the use of a website to trick a terrorist organization was even possible. The thought of having to rewrite websites and web pages and stay one step ahead of the enemy must be an extremely daunting task, and I don't envy the folks that have to do it. In terms of what I think are two topics that have an effect on our national security, I chose cyber operations and space operations. I selected these because of the technology, and I honestly think that this is the future for all of our military. I'll address cyber first. George Lucas writes in the Military Ethics in Cyber Warfare article that cyber analysts are predicting a cyber Armageddon is similar in catastrophe and in magnitude to 9/11 and to Pearl Harbor. A cyber warfare that's so widespread and destructive as any conventional warfare we've seen to date. Without one plane or troop on the ground, our enemy can take control of our infrastructure, banks, aircraft, water, power, etc., and we would never know it until after it happened. Do I think this will happen? No, I don't. Do I think it's possible? I do, because in 2007, patriotic hackers, or hacktivists as Mr. Lucas called them, hacked into the government, the infrastructure, and the banking systems of neighboring Estonia. It shut down their entire country. According to Lucas, this is the first confirmation of state-sponsored cyber warfare. It's for this reason that I think cyber warfare is one of the first topics that will have a direct impact on national security. When speaking of space operations, the stand-up of the Space Mission Force at Schriever Air Force Base, Colorado, there's now a dedicated force of over 300 individuals responsible for looking for immediate threats, immediate meaning the next 2 or 3 years, not 5 or 10 years down the road. These threats can include anti-satellite missiles, jamming, and lasers. In reading from the Ethical Foundations of Professions of Arms, Patrick Tucker article on USAF stands up Space Force to counter Russia and China, he describes 3 Russian launches that place small military satellites into low Earth orbit, and of the Chinese missile that reached 18,600 miles into space, just shy of the 22,236-mile orbit where the United States geosynchronous satellites fly. The article also calls for the U.S. to develop a strategy for a limited war in space. That would include more offensive space weapons or actions to take on Earth if this should ever occur. I can't even fathom the thought of having a war in space, can you? Just this morning, I read an article from Aaron Mehta from the Defense News about Russia and how they have developed a weapon system that can go Mach 5 or 5 times the speed of sound that can be used in both manned and unmanned systems. It's amazing to me and scary to me that we can think that this kind of thing can occur in space. But space and cyber, I think, is the future of our military and a direct threat in our national security. I appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. I look forward to learning with one and all, and you guys have a great night. Thanks for listening.